Hi. Okay. Ah. Car. Fucking car. I hate cars. Let me just close the window and turn on the fan. Actually, I don't even need a fan on. I'll just do this anyway. I wasn't able to stream because I came home like super late yesterday. So I'm just gonna stream in the afternoon right now. And here we are. I actually worked a bit off stream. Yeah. It's pretty cool. So I drew leaves. And that's about it. I just drew leaves. I drew leaves. I actually made a bit of Noel balls. I also not rewrite the script, but I also added a jump cue for the player body. But I think that's about it. Looks like it. Yeah, that's about it. Doesn't take too long, about like 2 hours, I think. Anyway, all right. Let me see. What's that thing about navigation? Wait, wrong. And done. Should be simple. Next up, I need a region here. I'll put it like right there. Something like this. Okay, got it. It's something like this. And then what? Bake. No, that can't be right. What? Car? affect navigation. Okay. So it's like this. There we go. Alright, that's good. Okay. Next. Should I just work on Noel? I think I should. Let me put on something for myself first. What if instead of listening to Silk Song, I just, I don't know, there's this FNAF video that oh yeah, speaking of which, my part is Toy Bonnie. That's fucking wild.
Fazbear Entertainment is not responsible for damage to property or person. Upon discovering that damage or death has occurred, a missing person report will be filed within 90 days, or as soon as property and premises have been thoroughly cleaned and bleached and the carpets have been replaced. Blah blah blah.
90 days feels like way too long a time to wait before reporting someone's missing. That, combined with the thing about replacing the carpets first and the newspaper earlier mentioning risk of dismemberment, and it's clear that Fazbear Entertainment is criminally negligent to a truly comical degree. A joke that I think only gets funnier as the series goes on.
The animatronic characters here do get a bit quirky at night.
No.
If I were forced to sing those same stupid songs for 20 years and I never got a bath, I'd probably be a bit irritable at night too.
Kind of a funny joke. Looks like our phone guy has a sense of humor, but what I'm most interested in is the 20 years line. If the characters haven't been cleaned in 20 years, then obviously we know the store has been open for at least 20 years. We should write that down.
So just be aware, the characters do tend to wander a bit. They're left in some kind of free roaming mode at night. They used to be allowed to walk around during the day too, but then there was the bite of 87.
The bite of 87.
It's amazing that the human body
so
can
it's
live
not
without
running
the frontal
time.
lobe, you know?
Okay, now this seems like a pretty big bombshell, and the total lack of elaboration generates a lot of intrigue. I want to say it's one of the reasons there was so much buzz surrounding this game when it first came out. What the hell is the bite of 87?
The bite of
whatever
87.
it is, we can assume it happened in 1987, and that an animatronic bit somebody, leading to the loss of the victim's frontal lobe, which is a pretty sizable piece of the human brain. We can also assume that it happened during the day, because after this, the animatronics were no longer allowed to roam freely. But the main takeaway for the player is that these characters are capable of some serious damage.
The only real risk to you as a night watchman here, if any, is the fact that these characters, if they happen to see you after hours, probably won't recognize you as a person. They'll most likely see you as a metal endoskeleton without its costume on. Now, since that's against the rules here at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, they'll probably try to forcefully stuff you inside a Freddy Fazbear suit. Now, that wouldn't be so bad if the suits themselves weren't filled with cross beams, wires,
And he,
animatronics,
yeah, and the phone call played it off like it's a joke. So it wasn't exactly scary, but like it's just the environment that was scary, which makes up a lot of this.
Sure. I mean, this could be the truth, but I feel like it has to be one of those little white lies from management, because we can see a naked endoskeleton backstage, and the animatronics pay it no mind. Also, the thing about the eyes and teeth feels so specific that I have to wonder if it's happened to an employee before, especially since the game over screen shows us this exact thing happening to us, as Phone Guy describes it. Has Phone Guy seen this happen before?
But hey, first station of the breeze. I'll chat with you tomorrow. Check those cameras and remember to close the doors only if absolutely necessary. Gotta conserve power. Alright, good night.
Once the call ends, some animatronics start to move. Bonnie the Bunny and Chica the Chicken are the primary threats on night one, with Bonnie approaching from the left and Chica approaching from the right. Freddy himself doesn't move unless he runs out of power, but he will occasionally stare directly at the camera. On her way to the office, Chica will pass through the kitchen, You obviously won't be able to see her, but you will be able to hear her. What the heck is she doing in there? Bonnie, on the other hand, doesn't really do anything special, although sometimes when he ventures backstage, he'll get real up close and personal. You want like a breath mint or something? If either of these two get
that
into the
screen
office,
was
then they'll kill you
scary
the
as
next time you
fuck
lower your camera.
back then. It's still very like jarring now.
If you actively refuse to lower your camera while they're in the office, well, eventually they'll just lower it for you. Strangely though, while this is going on, despite them being robots, you'll be able to hear them breathing. Night 2 begins with a shorter phone call.
Hello? Hello? Well, if you're hearing this and you made it to day 2, congrats. I won't talk quite as long this time since Freddy and his friends tend to become more active as the week progresses.
I'm like 90% sure that this isn't lore. I think this is purely just a gameplay tip, which is fine. This is a video game.
Interestingly enough, Freddy himself doesn't come off stage very often. I've heard he becomes a lot more active in the dark, though, so hey, I guess that's one more reason not to run out of power, right?
Likewise, this is just the game warning the player that Freddy will get you if the power goes out, assuming the player hasn't seen it already. After emphasizing the importance of the door lights and accidentally acknowledging the danger you're in, Phone Guy leaves us with one more very important tip.
Also, check on the curtain in Pirate Cove from time to time. The character in there seems unique in that he becomes more active if the cameras remain off for long periods of time. I guess he doesn't like being watched. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure you have everything under control. Talk to you soon.
Night 2 is the first good look we get at Foxy the Pirate. He could technically appear on Night 1, but that's only if the player isn't checking the cameras, which a new player probably is. Foxy works differently from every other animatronic. If you're not checking the cameras enough, Foxy will slowly leave his curtain. If he leaves completely, then that means he's on his way. I said earlier that Bonnie and Chica will kill you when you're looking at or lowering the cameras. Some players might think to avoid this by just never opening the cameras. Foxy is the counter to that strategy. If you're not checking the cameras, Foxy will
The game is actually
enter
pretty
your office,
genius for
and
this.
There's no way of knowing
It
exactly
forces
when.
you
The
to.
player can block him with
I don't know
the
if
door,
any
but
other game
trying
does that,
to
but like
guess
it
when he
forces you
runs
to do a
without the cameras
mechanic
will
where
waste
like
a
you
lot
are.
of power. Not
You
only
can
that, but
possibly
every time you
die. I
walk
mean,
into
I think
the
that
office
is
door,
all
he'll drain a
games,
bit of your power.
where
The amount
they
he
forces
drains
you to do something
increases
that you
every time
might
he
die.
runs.
But
So you'll want to minimize
this is
how
one of
many
those
times
like,
he
oh,
runs by checking the
like
cameras often.
it forces you to do
The
something that
last
you
thing
don't
to note
want to
about our
do,
out-of-order friend here is
rather
that
than it's something
sometimes
that's like.
he'll sing.
Well, okay, no, I'm just saying, I'm just talking in circles, but like, it's very apparent in this one. It's not as hidden.
This
as
doesn't
the other
indicate
games.
anything, he kind of just does it at random.
We're not-
But when you hear it, if you switch to the Pirate Cove camera, it gets louder, so we know Foxy's the one singing. Plus, he's a pirate, so if anyone's singing a sea shanty, it's probably him. With Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy to worry about, the player will have their attention divided. It's imperative to stay focused and to keep your nerves under control. But not helping that is the many, many Easter eggs that all seem designed to make you paranoid. Let's talk about Easter eggs. For starters, at any given moment, one of 4 things can happen. There's Foxy singing, which I just mentioned, but it's also possible for circus music to play,
Right, the circus.
possible to hear random metal pounding, and most distracting, it's possible to see this.
It's me. Wait.
Alongside these 4 random events, there's also 12 different Easter eggs that might appear every time you open the camera. I already mentioned the Freddy, Bonnie, and backstage stare downs, but there's also all of the following. When Foxy leaves Pirate Cove, there's a chance that the out of order sign will say, "It's me," instead. Similarly,
I think it's me. Wait, isn't the "it's me" like happen every time? I feel like it happened every time, right? Or am I tripping? Might be because I'm tripping.
The posters in the East Hall have a chance to be replaced by "It's Me" graffitied on the wall. These posters also have a chance to be replaced by a child's drawing of a screaming and crying face. The poster of Freddy in the West Hall corner can sometimes change to show Freddy ripping his own head apart. And finally, the most informative Easter eggs. The signs in the East Hall corner can change to be one of 4 things. One of 4 newspapers. They read as follows. Kids vanish at local pizzeria. Bodies not found. 2 local children were reportedly lured into a back room during the late hours of operation at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza on the night of June 26th. While video surveillance identified the man responsible and led to his capture the following morning, the children
Bodies were never
themselves were
found.
never found and are presumed dead. Police think that the suspect dressed as a mascot to earn the children's trust. 5 children now reported missing. Suspect convicted. 5 children are now linked to the incident at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, where a man dressed as a cartoon mascot and lured them into a back room.
Yeah, shit
While
is
the
actually
suspect
pretty
has been
creepy
charged,
when like
the
people
bodies
say
themselves
it.
were never found.
It's not as creepy when
Freddy
you
Fazbear's
read it
Pizza has been
yourself.
fighting an uphill battle ever since to convince families to return to the pizzeria. Quote, "It's a tragedy." Local pizzeria threatened with shutdown over sanitation. Local pizzeria, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, has been threatened again with shutdown by the health department over reports of foul odor coming from the much-loved animal mascots. Police were contacted when parents reportedly noticed what appeared to be blood and mucus around the eyes
Blood
and
and
mouths of the
mucus.
mascots. One parent likened them to reanimated carcasses. Local pizzeria set to close by year's end. After a long struggle to stay in business after the tragedy that struck them many years ago, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza has announced that it will close by year's end. Despite a year-long search for the buyer, companies seem unwilling to be associated with the company. These characters will live on. In the hearts of kids, these characters will live on. CEO. Now, we'll analyze these newspapers more in depth later on, but this reveals a lot. Now we know the store is set to close by the end of the year, and the dramatic decline in patronage due to these incidents explain why there's cobwebs and trash everywhere, and maybe even why management hasn't fixed Foxy yet. The store is already done for. I also feel like it's not a stretch to say that there's obviously something supernatural going on here. The random posters and hallucinations, the animatronics acting in strange ways. The building and these characters are clearly haunted. And if there are ghosts involved, well, the incidents described in these newspapers could be our reason why. This is definitely something to keep in mind. Things really ramp up on night 3. The phone call is also very short, with really only 2 things worth noting. Phone guy accidentally acknowledges how dangerous the situation is again.
I'm not implying that they died. That's not what I meant.
And then he has a weird idea.
If you happen to get caught and want to avoid getting stuffed into a Freddy suit, try playing dead. You know, go limp. Then there's a chance that maybe they'll think that you're an empty costume instead. Then again, if they think you're an empty costume, they might try to stuff a metal skeleton into you. I wonder how that would work. Yeah, never mind. Scratch that. It's best just not to get caught.
This is an incredibly strange thing to say, especially since it actually has 0 gameplay applications. For a long time, people assumed that this was a clue that when the power goes out, Freddy would take longer to kill you if you held perfectly still.
Yeah, no, it's just one of those like...
Don't move, I didn't move, that beginning didn't count.
But that's just a myth. How long Freddy takes to kill you during power outage is entirely decided by RNG. Maybe it refers to not opening the camera when Bonnie or Chica make it into the office. It's a little unclear, which is why...
I think this one is just... It's just one of those like... oh, you have a IRL questions like, oh, what if you like don't move at all or something like that. Like, you know, like when you play the game and you start asking questions about like, it's one of those things where like to patch plot holes, I guess.
Why it's so
So
weird
like, oh,
that
what
this
if
is
we
the
don't
only
play
advice
dead
Phone
or
Guy
something
gives
like
you
that?
during this phone call. But we have bigger things to worry about.
Or what if you play
Starting
dead?
on night
Like,
3,
it's just
Freddy
one of
will
those
finally
things.
leave the show stage. He's significantly more aggressive than Bonnie and Chica. While Bonnie and Chica can kind of roam back and forth and potentially never reach your office, Freddy has a fixed movement path. He'll move in a straight forward line from the show stage to the dining area, to the restrooms, to the kitchen where his song can be heard, then to the East Hall, the East Hall corner, and if he's not stopped there, your office. And while Bonnie and Chica return all the way to the dining hall when they're blocked by the door, Freddy will only move one space back to the east hallway. This means that once he's reached that point during the night, there's no getting rid of him. There are a few ways to keep track of him, though. Every time he moves, you can hear him laugh, even if you're not looking at the cameras. Also, he can't move if the cameras are up. If he tries, he'll just wait and then move as soon as you put the camera down. It's a small blessing, but it can be used to stall him. However, once he's right outside your office, he starts working differently. When he's there, he'll only freeze if you're looking at him on that camera specifically. If you're looking anywhere else, he can try and enter your office. But he can only enter your office when the cameras are up. This means, if you're not checking the cameras, you're safe. If you're watching Freddy in the corner, you're
Freddy
safe.
is probably like
If
the
you're
most
watching
complex
anywhere
out
else
of
on
everyone
cams,
here,
you're in
actually.
danger unless the right door is down. Night 3 can be a real hassle. It's the first night in the game where all animatronics are active. All 5 animatronics.
5.
It's time to talk about our final opponent. One that's technically active since the very first night, but only appears on very rare occasion. I mentioned before that there were 12 Easter eggs that could appear every time you check the cameras. Well, I've actually only told you about 11 of them. I mentioned that the poster in the East Hall corner has a rare chance to become Freddy ripping his head off. Well, it also has a much rarer chance to be something else. How rare? 1 in 32,768. Hilariously,
Jesus fucking Christ, every second? That's
it's actually
crazy.
supposed to be 1 in 100,000, but for multiple reasons, the actual probability is about 3 times more common, which I won't complain. But if you do get that 1 in 32,768 chance,
Every second.
the poster
that's...
changes.
Okay, I mean,
and when you
yeah,
see it,
like that's
this
super
happens.
rare too. Also, might I add, that laugh is a girl's laugh, and now we have the theory of like Cassidy is Freddy, or
This
Cassidy
character
is,
never named in game. Internal files call him Yellow Bear.
Cassidy
but
is
community
one of the
took
two
him
souls
in
that
Golden
resides
Freddy.
in
Golden Freddy is the
Fredbear.
most evidently supernatural out of all the animatronics. If you see his poster, he'll spawn in the office even if both doors are down. His mere presence forces the flashing "it's me" hallucinations. To make him go away, all you have to do is pull the camera back up. While he's unlikely to end your run, you basically need to let him kill you, his presence is a real shakeup, and it might throw somebody off their game. Golden Freddy's existence is incredibly strange. His jump scare sound is unique, and he doesn't send you to the game over screen. Instead, he crashes your game. It's hard to tell if he has any significance to the plot, but he's definitely something to keep in mind. Before moving on, I'll also mention the last 2 random Easter eggs I haven't mentioned yet. After the game over screen, there's a 1 in 10,000 chance for the game to give you the Golden Freddy jump scare instead of sending you to the title. And every time you go to the title screen, there's a 1 in 1,000 chance for this to happen.
What happens? Oh, right, that it's the Bonnie, it's the Bonnie head that has no eyes. That's one of the creepiest. Yeah, that is one of the creepiest.
There's not much to say about Night 4. Everyone is
Thing I've
even more
seen.
active than the previous night, but besides that, there's nothing really to say about them. What is worth talking about is the phone call. Phone Guy's shortest call in the game. I'm gonna let it play in full.
He dies. Okay, enemy attack here. Okay, it's enemy attack.
Oh, hey, wow, day 4. I knew you could do it. Hey, listen, I may not be around to send you a message tomorrow. It's been a bad night here for me. I'm kind of glad that I recorded my messages for you when I did. Hey, do me a favor. Maybe sometime you can check inside those suits in the back room. I'm gonna try to hold out until someone checks. Maybe it won't be so bad. I always wondered what was in all those empty heads back there. You know. Oh no.
Looks like Phone Guy got himself stuffed into a suit. He was right about the animatronics getting more active as time goes on, since you can actually make out the audio cues of all 5 animatronics during this call. Foxy banging on the door, Freddy's music box, Bonnie and Chica's groaning, and finally, Golden Freddy's lower-pitched scream. Also starting on this night, once Bonnie and Chica make it right outside your office, they start to twitch violently and give off the same garbled noise you hear during hallucinations. Night 5 is even worse. The animatronics are at their hardest, and somehow, you still get a phone call.
I think this is played backward, right? So if you play forward, it's something weird.
Despite this absolute nightmare, if you manage to clear the night, you'll have finished your 5 nights at Freddy's.
Five
and you'll
Nights
get
at
the first ending.
Freddy's. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Wow, $120 for our troubles. This is where we learn that our character's name is Mike Schmidt. We also see that the check is dated November 12th, or maybe December 11th, but the year isn't specified. It's also a little weird that the game takes place towards the end of the year, when the developer message earlier called it a summer job, but that's just all the more reason to dismiss that as evidence. It was almost definitely something Scott just threw together and included as a joke, possibly early in development. Editor's note. Apparently, some people use the term summer job to refer to any temporary or part-time job, and not necessarily a job that's over the summer. It seems like the FNAF community assumes that that's how Scott is using the phrase
That's
here,
weird.
especially since this whole summer job during the end of year discrepancy happens in FNAF 2 as well. So if you take summer job as it's used here to mean part-time job, then there's actually no contradiction here. I just thought I'd include that.
I don't buy that.
Game completed. Except, once you beat Night 5, you unlock an even harder Night 6. This is just a bonus challenge, there's not even a phone call, but if you beat it, you get the second ending and one final unlockable. For your outstanding work effort, you earn 50 cents.
Wow.
And Employee of the Month. But your final reward is the incredibly cool Custom Night. Here, you can set the animatronics AI levels as you see fit. A super neat addition
1987.
for players who want to poke around with the game engine, or maybe are just trying to find certain Easter eggs. Although something does happen if you put in the code 1987. This was apparently added in an update by Scott to dissuade rumors that beating 1987 mode would unlock some kind of secret. And I totally believe it, even though I can't find the original source of that claim.
Really? I mean, close enough, but
Beating
like
Custom
they,
Night on any
or he
difficulty
fucking
gets you
retconned
this
it so
screen.
that it
Notice
was
of
Mango
termination.
who did the
Reason,
1987,
tampering with the animatronics, general unprofessionalism,
and Fredbear
odor.
is the one who did the
Hilarious. You
1983.
get fired for tampering with the animatronics, even if you play the night
Anyway.
with the default settings of 1331. What the hell, man? I didn't even do anything. The last thing you can do in this game is attempt the hardest optional challenge, 20-20-20-20 mode. Doing this doesn't change the ending, but it does get you your third and final star. So, that was a lot, but now we have all the information we can possibly gather from this game. So now it's time for step 2. How can we make all of these pieces fit together? Can we form a satisfying narrative that answers the questions, what is really going on here? Who was responsible for the bite of 87? What was the missing children incident? What's the deal with Golden Freddy? And what is the real story of Five Nights at Freddy's? So right off the bat, the missing children incident is totally causing all of this. 5 kids go missing, their bodies are never found, blood and mucus appears on the suits, and the animatronics start acting hostile. The victims of the missing children incident, or MCI for short, were absolutely stuffed inside the animatronics. And if we count Golden Freddy, the number of suits matches up perfectly to the number of victims. That's why the animatronics are haunted, that's why Freddy and Golden Freddy laugh like children, that's why weird stuff happens around the building, including the appearance of a poster depicting a crying child. It's probably why the animatronics even want to kill you by
People
stuffing you into a
underestimate
suit.
how
It's because that's the same way they
disturbing
died,
the
stuffed
first
inside
game
a
is.
suit.
Now it all
Let's
comes
start
with
building
like
ourselves
fucking
a timeline. And
immortality
let's start with
and
something obvious. Everything in this
agony
game
and
is
souls
learned
and all
from the
that shit.
perspective
I
of
mean,
Mike
soul is,
Schmidt
but
and
like soul
Steve
is
Bartwig. So we
in
know
like
that
the
that's
later
the last
game
thing
is
in the timeline.
it's
this
used
point, there's
as in
already a
like a
newspaper claiming that
driving
the store was shut
narrative
down by
or
the end of
like
the
one of
year.
those
Mike is employed
things
during
that
the end of the year, so we can
people
assume the store
use to
closes
gain
only
immortality.
1 or
It's
2 months
not like
after he's
Haunted
fired.
Soul
We
like
also
the
know
first
that
game.
Phone Guy's week comes before Mike's because we listen to Phone Guy's pre-recorded messages, and in those messages, Phone Guy mentions the Bite of 87, so we know that comes before. We can also assume that the MCI also comes before Phone Guy's work week, since he's killed by the animatronics, so they're clearly already haunted by that point. The only real question we have here is, did the Bite come first, or did the MCI come first? And the answer is that, honestly, it could go either way, and it doesn't really matter. While these are both important moments in the timeline, they don't really affect each other that much. You could infer that the Bite happened because the animatronics were already haunted, meaning the MCI came first, but the animatronics are already so dangerous, you could just as easily say that the Bite happened first because one of the customers got too close, or a character glitched, or hell, maybe one just fell on top of somebody and crushed them. I just want to reiterate that you could come up with any number of specific theories to make either order work. And I don't even think Scott intended a specific order at this point in the series. Honestly, I just think Scott included the Bite of 87 to explain on night 1 that the animatronics were dangerous, and he included the missing children's incident just for some backstory, and that's it. The reason I'm concerned at all with putting these things in a timeline is because, well, logistically everything has to happen in a timeline, and quote-unquote solving that timeline is just how I personally have the most fun engaging with this series. All that being said, since we're told very little about the Bite, if we want more information, then analyzing those newspapers again is our best bet. First, let's get the order down. I was curious if these papers could come in any order other than what I read before, since they aren't numbered and can show up in any order, but it seems pretty definitive. Kids vanish at local pizzeria, and 5 children now reported missing paint the picture of an ongoing investigation. The number of victims increases, the suspect goes from apprehended to convicted, and the police go from just thinking that the suspect dressed as a mascot to more confidently stating that a man dressed as a mascot to lure the victims away. Our third paper, threatened with shutdown over sanitation, would have to come after, once the kids get stuffed and the animatronics show signs of contact with bodily remains. I wondered if this could have happened before the investigation, like if the children were stuffed into the suits first, then blood is noticed, and then after that the children are reported missing and the suspect is caught. But that
412,
actually
okay.
can't
How
be the
about
case. This is because we know the investigation starts immediately after
2
the 2
hours?
kids in our first paper
No, not
go
2
missing.
hours.
After the
An
killer
hour and a
gets
half.
those 2, he's caught the very next morning, and later convicted for all 5. That means that by the time it's even possible for people to notice bloody suits, the killer must already be caught and the investigation must already be over. After all, this paper says the police were called, which naturally means the police weren't there to begin with, which means the investigation must have ended already. These health concerns could only be noticed after the initial investigation concludes, and then the store reopens to the public. That just leaves paper number 4. Local pizzeria said to close by year's end certainly sounds final, but can we definitively say that this paper comes last? Yes. If this paper came before the previous one about sanitation concerns, then we have a problem. You have the health department threatening the store with shutdown after the store already announced its shutdown. So since the store must still be open to be threatened with shutdown, we know the third paper comes before the fourth. And since we know the third paper has to happen after 1 and 2, then we can definitively say the order of these papers is the one I laid out previously. First, 2 kids go missing, then 5 kids missing, then threats over sanitation, and then finally, store said to close by year's end. Perfect. But can this also help us narrow down where in the timeline the Bite happens? Well, a little. At the very least, I think we can say that the Bite can't happen after paper number 4. This is because everything from paper number 4, announcing that the store is closing at the end of the year, up until the store actually closing, would have to happen within the same year. But if the Bite happens within the same year as Phone Guy's work week, then that means you have people calling this the Bite of 87, while it's still 1987, which somehow feels like the least believable thing so far. So despite paper number 4
It's actually
saying
9
tragedy singular,
the first game
which
is actually
detail I let myself get hung up
1993.
on for way too long, it has to come after both the Bite and the MCI. It's not the biggest clue, but it's something. But with the papers in order, we now have a rough outline of events. Reportedly, during the late hours of June 26th, 2 children are lured away by our killer. The next morning, that's hours later, half a day at most, the killer is caught. That means that within this time frame, someone must have reported the kids missing that night, after which an investigation would have started, and the authorities are able to find surveillance footage fast enough to make an arrest by the next morning. This is what we can consider
Really?
to be the missing children incident, and we can consolidate all of this into a single point on our timeline. That brings us to paper number 3, and the prospect of kids being hidden inside the characters. This begs the question, why were the bodies never found? If the police were literally called about blood and mucus on the suits, then why didn't they look in the suits? Surely they would have discovered the bodies then, so why didn't they? Simple.
Oh,
By that point,
fuck
the
you.
bodies must already be gone. We need to talk about a key player in all of this, that being Fazbear Entertainment itself. If we know one thing about this corporate entity, it's that it's a professional
Actually,
responsibility dodger.
if
From the very
falling
first screen, you have the open acknowledgement
dead.
of possible dismemberment, of which Fazbear
This
Entertainment is
is
not responsible
true.
for. You see the company, within
Else
one day, go from calling you
this
Employee of the
is
Month to
false.
firing you on grounds of general unprofessionalism, and you have Phone Guy constantly downplaying the danger you're in despite working the
There we
same
go.
job and knowing that you'll be stuffed into a suit and that specifically
Yeah,
your eyes and
it's
teeth will bulge out in
FNAF.
front of the mask. And most importantly, you have the company saying they'll report somebody missing only after waiting 3 months and only after they can clean up any and all evidence first. They're perfectly okay with interfering with a crime scene to save their own ass. Here's the big problem. A killer leaves 5
FNAF,
corpses in
yes.
the back room. Over the course of the night, authorities are at the store and they find proof on the security cameras, but they don't find
what's
the
next?
obvious crime scene? Unless the killer put the kids in the suits, then immediately took them back out of the suits, moved them somewhere else, and then came back and cleaned the crime scene and left all
okay,
before
hold
the
on.
cops arrived. Somebody was in the store after the killer
For
left and
80K
before the
CD.
police arrived. Perhaps an employee clocking in for the night shift, a position we know is occasionally filled by
Per-
higher-ups like Phone Guy. I think, after the kids were killed,
CD.
Fazbear Entertainment found the bodies first and
0,
immediately got rid of them to
0,
dodge the
this
blame.
one is...
And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think for years I've been operating under a misconception that the kids were stuffed inside the animatronics that perform up on stage, the ones that walk
Why?
around the store and
'Cause I
hunt
like
you down at night. I
FNAF?
thought that the kids were inside
No.
the walking robots, suit, body, and endoskeleton and all. But the fact is that just doesn't make any sense. Even just being stuffed inside a suit without the endoskeleton is lethal enough for your eyes and teeth to bulge out. Child or not, I don't think it's possible to fit a person and an endoskeleton inside a suit together. I imagine some people might say, well, if they weren't stuffed with the endoskeletons, then why are the characters even haunted? Or why are the animatronics still haunted if the bodies aren't in them? And to that I say,
So...
we don't know how ghosts work. We could be going off of unfinished business rules, or maybe the spirits need to be properly put to rest. Because let's face it, if Fazbear Entertainment got rid of the bodies, they definitely didn't give them a proper burial. They probably just threw those things in a ditch and called it a day. But personally, I don't think it's possible that the bodies are still in the
Jag
suits
är
by
då
the
jag
time
sen
Mike
vet
retired.
säsong,
If there
jag
were
kan
ever a
säga det
moment for the bodies to be
escuela,
discovered,
escuela.
blood being noticed on the suits would have been it. But
I know
that's
vacation-
not
yeah,
what's reported in
vacation-
the paper. Now,
Vacation.
this is about as far as our
Jag kan
analysis
säga
can take
det
us.
escuela.
We've pretty much squeezed out as much
Huh.
information as possible from the clues we're given. We can try and speculate further, but that'll only help us zoom into the timeline, when really we want to zoom out. The timeline ends with Phone Guy's work week, then Mike's, then the store closes. Meanwhile, the MCI goes towards the beginning, with blood noticed on the suits and the store announcing its closure, both reported by the newspapers, happening sometime after. I tried my hardest to pin these down in relation to Phone Guy's week, but really they could fit in any order. Phone Guy's week could come before, after, between, or even concurrently with the papers, without issue. This just leaves our final and most annoying puzzle piece. Where in this timeline does the bite fit? And are you ready to be unsatisfied? Because the truth is, as long as it comes before paper number 4 and Phone Guy's work week, the bite can fit anywhere, with plausible explanations existing in all cases.
Oh well,
Did the
it
bite
is
come
what it is.
before the MCI? Now the animatronics are stuck on stage. Maybe that's why the killer hid them in the suits. They thought the blood wouldn't be noticed from afar. Did the bite come after the blood is noticed on the suits? First, people are close enough to the animatronics that they notice the blood and mucus. Then, eventually someone gets so close that they get chomped. Did the bite come immediately after the MCI and before blood
Huh.
was noticed? That could
I
be
never heard
because
of that
the freshly
explanation
haunted
before.
animatronics bit somebody the very first chance they were able, before anybody even had the chance to cry sanitation concerns. Only after, when they're restricted to the stage, do people really notice the blood. I genuinely don't think that there's any concrete way to approach solving this timeline. Speaking objectively, this is about as solved as it can get. If you want to make any more progress from here, you have to rely more heavily on assumptions. For me to continue this theory, I have to follow my gut. And personally, My gut says that things make the most sense if the bite comes first in the timeline. And my reasoning for why boils down to just one question. How does Golden Freddy fit into all of this? And
Oh
I
yeah,
am
Golden
going to
Freddy.
lay
Forgot
some
about that
emphasis on
guy.
this part. I'll just come out and say it. I think Golden Freddy is our culprit for the bite. For starters, the bite is literally only acknowledged twice in the entire game. The first time
I think this makes the most sense because like it's a retcon. Like I don't see any other explanation of why Mango was the actual bite of 87 and Fredbear was the 93. It was a retcon, so let's just go for the original and just say that
during the 91
Fredbear
phone call,
is
and the
the
second, when
1987.
you input the year into the custom night screen, which prompts the Golden Freddy jump scare. I know Scott added this to dissuade rumors, but who's to say he wasn't killing two birds with one stone? What if Scott was dissuading rumors and giving us a hint that Golden Freddy was connected to the bite? Second, you don't find any acknowledgement of Golden Freddy. Not from Phone Guy, not on posters, not on children's drawings, nowhere. The closest thing is this drawing of Freddy, but if you brighten it, it's clear to me that this bear is brown, not yellow. Now, this could imply that Golden Freddy doesn't actually exist, and he's just a hallucination, which is a valid theory. And sure, the one that appears in the office is probably just a ghost and not a real suit. But the real suit must have existed at some point, because somebody was stuffed inside it. Why would the ghost look like the suit otherwise? To me, Golden Freddy's absence always felt like a cover-up, like Fazbear Entertainment is trying to pretend he doesn't exist, even though he does. Think about it. If a Golden Freddy animatronic bit out somebody's brain, what would management do? Would they own up to it in any way whatsoever? Or would they scrap the animatronic, remove any and all references to its existence, make the rest of the characters stationary during the day, and continue business like usual, pretending the whole thing never happened? What sounds more likely to you, knowing what we know about the company? And my final piece of evidence. Notice how Golden Freddy is positioned. Slumped over, completely limp. And what does Phone Guy say when he talks about being caught?
Try playing dead. You know, go limp. Then there's a chance that maybe they'll think that you're an empty costume instead.
Go limp, and you'll look like an empty suit. Golden Freddy is empty. That's what this line from Phone Guy means. It wasn't any kind of gameplay hint, it was a clue that Golden Freddy has no endoskeleton. The lone, seemingly random naked endoskeleton backstage is his. So, what? Why does it matter that Golden Freddy is empty? Because our killer disguised himself in a mascot costume, and he can't just use any costume. You can't just take the suits from the back and put them on because we know that there are crossbeams, wires, and animatronic devices in the suits that make them unfit for a person to wear safely. This, I think, is our smoking gun. Because while it seems reasonable, the idea of a mascot suit someone can wear doesn't come up anywhere else in the game. If you get stuffed into a suit, you die. The missing kids were stuffed into the suits, which left blood around the eyes. In order to wear a mascot costume safely, it would need to be empty, with all of those pieces taken out. Something that I think would only happen if management was decommissioning an animatronic. Management deactivated the endoskeleton to make sure that the
Yo,
biter
how's it
couldn't
going?
bite again, and then they pulled
Hi, I'm
out
doing
the
game
suit
dev
parts,
and listening to
leaving
like
the
the
character itself
FNAF
completely hollow.
a FNAF video right
wearable.
now.
My
I'm trying to
final
figure out
theory
what to
and
do.
timeline for the
As in,
first
like,
and
there's
only the
there's
first
multiple
5
ways I
Nights
can
at
do
Freddy's
this.
game
So
goes as follows.
idle to attacking.
At some point, probably in the early 80s, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza opens up. It's a magical place for kids and
Idle
grown-ups
to
alike,
attacking that
and it's
requires the
incredibly popular,
attacking
likely because of
variable,
the advanced
which
animatronics that walk around and interact
It's not
directly with
activated
customers.
here yet. That
However,
means I have to
it was
do.
this very feature that would backfire when in
Okay, so
1987,
it's
a
only
customer got too
false, right?
close.
Yep.
One of the animatronics, a yellow bear, got so close to a customer that it ended up causing serious damage to the person's head. The customer survived, but had lost their frontal lobe. People would later refer to this incident as the bite of 87.
This is jump. Don't
Ensuing
do
PR
this.
was
This
bad,
is...
and the animatronics were undeniably dangerous, so Fazbear Entertainment began to make changes. They no longer allowed the animatronics to roam freely during the day, and they also began to phase out the specific character responsible for the bite. Posters and children's drawings were taken off the walls, and the suit itself was decommissioned. Its endoskeleton was taken out and made unable to walk at all. The costume had its interior parts removed, the parts that could be reused for other suits. There, backstage, the now notorious Golden Freddy sat hollow and unused. Until many years later.
No, well, this is greater than 100.
Sometime in the early to mid
Then this
90s,
happens.
June 26th, a man takes the suit, now wearable by a person,
Also,
and puts it
X.
on.
Oh, so it's here.
During the late hours of operation, the man stalks around the store, targeting children, likely those who came to the pizzeria alone. One by one, he lures them to the back room of the store, and from there, nobody knows. All we know is that 5 children were stuffed inside each of the
There we go.
mascots.
Okay,
One
so
for
this should
Freddy,
be it.
one for Bonnie, one for Chica, one for Foxy, and even one for the scrapped Golden Freddy, the very same suit used to commit the crime. I suspect that the culprit also tampered with the camera footage of the back room. After all, if they have knowledge of and access to a decommissioned suit, then perhaps they're an employee who has access to the cameras too.
Not attacking.
They tried to cover their tracks,
attacking,
and
okay.
while it wasn't entirely successful, they managed to leave
This
the
should be
nature
it.
of their crime a mystery. The killer leaves the store, and soon after, a night guard arrives for their shift, discovering
Oh, see
the
a
crime
fucking
scene.
bug there.
But this
Okay.
person doesn't go to the police, because as a higher-up at Fazbear Entertainment, they knew that this would destroy the store. After the PR nightmare caused by the bite of 87,
Attack.
another incident would be the end of Freddy Fazbear's
Mode.
Pizza.
It's not mode. It's
Nobody
switch
can know
at
about this.
N.
So
Whoops.
they get rid of everything. They clean the crime scene and get rid of the bodies. And if the killer didn't tamper with the camera footage, then management definitely did. Around this time is when the first calls go out. 2 families report that their children never came home. The police act fast to track them down, see if they can find their last known whereabouts. Eventually, they link the kids to a local pizzeria and arrive early next morning to investigate. What they find is far from decisive, but with what they do have, they can just barely, on the cameras, make out a man wearing a suit and luring lone children away. They don't have footage of the room they were lured to, but I imagine if they investigated, they would have found traces of blood.
This
Whatever
really does
happened
feel
there,
like a one of those unsolved.
The children
BuzzFeed
are
video.
presumed dead.
Actually, no. BuzzFeed Unsolved is
Police
more comical,
mobilize.
but like this is one
What
of
they
those like
found is enough to make
documentary.
an arrest
This
that
feels
very
like one of
same
those
morning.
documentaries.
Around this time is when I guess the first report goes out, while at the same time, 3 more families call in saying they woke up and their children still hadn't come home. As the police continue to investigate, they eventually
Shit.
link all 5 disappearances to their suspect. They make their case, and despite the fact that the bodies were never found, the suspect is convicted. Despite management's best efforts, the store still takes a dramatic hit in patronage. People now associate the store with the terrible tragedy that happened there. Police are even called after blood and mucus is noticed around the eyes and mouths of the animatronic characters. The police check the suits, but they can't find anything conclusive. Admittedly, management hadn't given the suits
What is the
a bath
video
in
about
20 years.
specifically? Five Nights at
Still,
Freddy's, the
store is
first
hounded
game.
by the health department and threatened shutdown. After a long struggle lasting many years, Fazbear Entertainment admits defeat. Health concerns and a tarnished reputation finally lead to the store announcing that by the end of the year, the store will officially be closed for good. Trash piles up around the store, cobwebs form in the halls, but why bother to clean? One of the animatronics, Foxy, falls into disrepair, but there's no point in spending the money to fix him. An out-of-order sign is placed in front of his stage.
Yeah, the one in
where it would
particular,
sit until the
FNAF
store's
one.
closure.
It's just like
It's all
it's
over.
basically the video said like let's just
But
start
not
over
for
and just based on like the first game
For the
alone.
victims, it wasn't over.
What was
Far from
Five
it.
Nights at
The
Freddy's
day they were
about?
stuffed into those
Just the
suits,
first
they
game,
became
and
something else.
there is no
They
like
weren't going to rest
sequels
until
and
they
there's
found
no
the
books,
responsible
just the first game.
for the man in the employee uniform that lured them away.
So it's just
The
a
animatronics
it's just like a
could no longer
recap. I've
walk
seen that
around
video.
during
Yeah,
the
I
day.
haven't seen
Management
it.
still let them
It's
walk
like
around at night.
4 months ago.
Employees who had the night shift began to notice the animatronics acting strange, moving more and more.
Yeah, the first
becoming
game is
hostile and violent.
very
An employee is
disturbing.
even killed, stuffed into
For
a
its
suit,
time.
his eyes and teeth bulging out the front. But of course, no body is found. The carpet is cleaned and replaced before a missing person report is filed. Fazbear Entertainment is not responsible for injury and dismemberment.
Shit.
Nobody wants to take the night shift anymore. A senior employee fills the position himself while the store looks for anyone willing to apply. This temporary night guard records messages for their would-be replacement, trying to warn them about the dangers of the job, possibly trying to help avoid any future incidents, but all while not
Trying to see a
directly
bug
admitting
here.
fault, of course.
Sorry.
Nothing that happens at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is management's fault. This man, too, is killed on the job.
Print.
A replacement is finally found, a man named Mike Schmidt. He does his job, and perhaps
see.
because of those pre-recorded messages, which
only
management clearly
attack
forgot to erase,
once.
is able to survive until the end of the week. He even comes back for some overtime, at least as much as the closing store can afford to pay him. A true valued employee of the month even. Nobody's lasted in Mike's position as long as he has. Mike does his job and does it well. Although, maybe too well. Maybe management doesn't like having somebody poking around in their business, learning too much. Not that there's anything to learn, mind you. Maybe we shouldn't let people like Mike poke around. We should let him go, hurry him out the door. He's unprofessional, odorous, too unfit for a work environment. Did he even actually tamper with the animatronics? What does that matter?
It only
Nobody
played
needs to know
once, but
anything
why
about
is it
Fazbear
not
Entertainment.
going
Nobody
back?
needs to know anything about the people who run it, what they know and what they are or aren't responsible for. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is a perfectly respectable establishment. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is a magical place for kids and grown-ups alike. These characters will live on. In the hearts of kids, these characters will live on. The store closes the very next month.
Ha!
It is not remembered too fondly. This is what I honestly believe could have been the plot of Five Nights at Freddy's. Like I said, you can interpret the story in many ways. I imagine tons of people will disagree with this theory, and that's fine, because it's always fun coming up with your own. I mean, there are certainly parts of this theory
It does
that
make
even
sense.
I have a hard time believing, like management cleaning up the crime scene, but that's just where I think the evidence takes
No,
it.
I really do
Personally,
feel like
I
management
think
would be the
police
one who
definitely
cleared the
discover the
crime
kills during the
scene.
investigation by the next morning, but since I don't think the killer put them in the suits only to take them back out again and hide them somewhere else, they have to already be gone by then. But at the end of the day, I'm like 90% sure Scott didn't intend for people to scrutinize these details so closely. I mean, I'm sure he wasn't trying to allude to a specific order of events. He just wanted to imply a story for his scary sit-and-survive video game. And it's just fun to think about what that story could have been for 3 months, from August to November 2014.
Oh yeah,
Because then the plot changed.
The
I mean,
sequel
you can
just
hardly
fucking-
expand on a story without changing it in some way.
okay, so the not attacking
And while
is
I
not
was
even
captivated by
playing. Why?
FNAF 1, FNAF 2 is what got me in a chokehold. Scott Cawthon understood that the mystery of FNAF 1 was got people's attention, and he struck while the iron was hot, releasing a sequel in just 3 months. A sequel filled with so much more mystery, more danger, more characters,
Yeah,
and a
new
much more
model.
compelling narrative, in my opinion.
By the
So
way,
much about what
fucking
FNAF 2 added.
10 new characters, like just straight up like new characters, including like the old one, the Withered Freddy, all that shit, like all that shit in 3 months is wild.
As long as the internet wants me to, but
Like
only
bro,
if
like people
you
underestimate how,
and also
like
just
Jesus
not
fucking
enough.
Christ,
This
he was
video
on the
took
grind
so
since
much out of me.
the
We got
first
trailers for
and the
the
second
Secret
game
Mimic
too.
and the second movie while I was working on this, so I'm gonna leave it here. This script was
Alright, I'll just pause it and play Silk Song instead. Where's Silk Song? Silk Song! Where's the Silk Song? Hold on, Silk Song. Okay. So Attack Sprite is not even playing. Why? Okay, I got it. So if it's not attacking, then do all this, and attacking is true. So then this is not played anymore, which is cool. But it should. Let me see. But now that attacking is true, this should play, but it's not playing. Because I know that it's not playing because it's not calling the not attacking, because if it does attack or if it does the not attacking, it should print not attacking, but it's not. So that means this whole thing is not playing. And thanks for the follow. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm trying to follow. Okay, so something's up because theoretically this should work, and it did work. It only called attacking once. Right? But now that it is in the attacking state, this animation should play because it's in one of the two. It's in one of the two. Oh wait, is it one of these? Oh, wait. Oh, wait, okay. Okay. So it wasn't the animation. Running. Auto, no. Switch at N. Like this. Okay, that should work. You want a good taste, yeah. Okay, so attacking, not attacking, attacking again. Really? Also, what's I don't even know what's up with the false, true, false, true. Wait. I already 100% did Silk Song. It's so good. Anyway, I really should just print debug instead of print. Now I just can't figure out what the fuck this true, false, and true, true is done or doing. Oh my god. How do we print? Print timescale, that's not. I just do a debug. So it's definitely not this. Is it this? All of these are print debug, so it doesn't matter. What other script? Is it camera trigger? That can't be right. No, it's not camera trigger. Enemy spawner? Print monitoring. Debug. Oh, this is the one. Oh yeah, this is definitely the one. Print debug. Okay, so it should print debug instead of print. Yeah. Which I can then remove since it's not relevant anymore. So now it's just Noel. Why is Noel? So attacking, not attacking, attacking again. Why? Why is it called again? It shouldn't have called again. It shouldn't have called again. Why? Right, you know what? Oh, I think I know why. City, if attack city is less than equals 0. Okay, there we go. There we go. This should be it. Now I got a problem. It's not even printing attack. Oh, is it because... Yeah, it's not decreasing. Okay. I can do... What can I do? where can I do it actually? That's a real question. If it case Curse City, it's Curse City. Okay. ATK Curse City minus Delta. Okay, let's try again. Please, 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 please. Okay, okay, okay. I got it. And now I can do, and a reset, I can do attack sprite set to false. Like that. Attack area monitoring to false. And that should be it. Okay. It has like 2 attacks, which is fine actually. I wonder if I should make it throw the mace that it's holding. I'm not too sure. Maybe that's a little too complicated because in Amelia, 1 man, so I don't want to waste extra time drawing sprites. Let me drink some water. We're almost done. I think I'm just gonna finish up. No, oh no. I think that is. Alright, I need to apply knockback. Let me see. Attack here. You know what? I should add it in here. Oh yeah. Export for apply knockback. Boo equals false. So this is turned to true, and then player hurt box damage value. If apply knockback, then this happens. After I apply the knockback feature, I'm gonna do a what's it called? Like shockwave features, and then I'll end it for the night, or yeah, for the day, because I have work in a bit. So apply knockback, right? So and body is apply your body, then body dot how does the explosion work again? Explosion SFX2. So it player detection, player velocity. Okay. Okay, it literally just modifies the player velocity. So body dot velocity dot y equals negative 500. Maybe 300. And body dot velocity dot x. We can actually do a Okay, so the position of this attack area. Right. For direction equals position dot x minus body dot position dot x, or rather it's body. It's usually body first for some fucking reason. Body minus position dot x. Right? So let's say if body position x is body is 1 and us is 2, so 1 minus 2 is negative 2, that means direction is negative, which is true. If body is 2, position is 1, then body 2 minus 1 is 1, which is positive. Okay. If direction is greater than 0, greater equals to 0, then equals I don't fucking know. Let's look at this. Radius lifetime damage. Wait. What about velocity dot x? Velocity dot x. Wait, none? Really? Player current as cell. Oh, is it current a cell? Let's try it. Current a cell. Current a cell. Farfeuds. Farfeuds is pretty underrated, to be honest. It's nothing special. I'm gonna say global instead of, because of like child placement issues, so I just do global instead. Alright. That should be it. Shit, not wrong. This one. Doesn't. What if I do print is player box? It should print. Huh. Oh, right, because it's not. Okay. On body entered. Connect to source. There we go. So it's about time I should remove this because, yeah. There we go. Whoa! Okay. Okay, whoa, that's, damn. That's a big ass knockback, okay. Export var knock back val float equals 1.5. Knockback val. But I'm gonna set this to like 1.1 instead. Knockback X val, and then knockback Y val. $300. Knockback Y val, and this is knockback X val. 1.3. Oh my god, the fucking knockback is okay. 1.2. I just gotta lessen the distance real quick. So 90? 90. Okay. Got it. It's peak. Whoa! Oh my god, what the fuck just happened? Okay. Alright. All attacks are done. I think I just need... shit. Oh. Okay. Greymore is surprisingly good. Okay, so, what do I do? Should I do a flash? Okay, hold on, I gotta... I'm actually gonna move everything here, so... something like this. Because I need a parry flash. I'll set this to 0.3 to extend that. So light occluder. That should be it, and then the parry flash. Right, the parry flash. Right, isn't she like super strong? Well, in lore anyway. In lore, she's like super strong, so like it's unparryable unless you have a projectile. I think that's good, right? Hmm. Okay. Red parry flash. I need to look up Danon. How do I do the parry flash from Danon again? Bellheart. Can be parried. Parryable by projectile. How did Danon work again? It should have similar. Can be parried, drag player, can be knocked back, can flip. How do I do it? How? I think it's in the script. Correct? Okay, I haven't. I have this attack. So Parabar Yacht in parry state equals true. Parent body dot in parry state equals false. That's the first. Parryable by projectile, okay. I think I already modified. What's this? In this group, player detection, player attack damage. No, that can't be right. I made this like 2 months ago and now I just fucking forgot how it works. Can knockback is true and it can knockback is false. Okay, it's like a parable by projectile. False. Parable by projectile. Jump parable by projectile is true. Okay, I got it. I think. On area 2D, area entered. Area 2D is this one. Okay, Noel sprite, attack area, down attack area, area 2D, collision shape, 2D, square, something like that. Why is run? Shaped run. You know what? I think I should flip this. Flip everything. There we go. Run. Idle. Down attack. Attack. Okay, got it. Attack area 2D. On area 2D area entered, right? Area 2D area entered, connect, go to source. Here, and then dot variable by projectile equals true. In parry. Wow, okay. No in parry state, really? Okay, no need for the in parry state. That's fine. If area dot is in group strong projectile. I don't need to in parry state. Parryable by or false. And then it's just this script. knocked him back through, and then this group falls. Sprite 2D Parry Flash. Huh. Okay, Parry Flash is self-modulate. Okay, I got it. What's the hex? This. Good. Next is Parry Flash, attack area. Okay, animation player, attack. Let's see. Add property. Parry Flash. Modulate. There we go. Insert. Paste the hex. This to here, check. It's better to avoid, right? Or no? What if I move everything back again? Because this shit is pretty fast. I just give it to 1.5. Yeah, okay, that's better. Now I just gotta move the Parry Flash to like right here. And that's perfect. $509, okay. Script. Go back to down and what else was there? Stun. Do I need a stun? I don't need a stun, right? Cut through fucking reminds me of bile water. Fucking bile water, bro. Okay. Okay. Wait. down attack. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. I need a property down attack area monitoring. There we go. Here. Wait, actually, no. I don't need that. I forgot. That was supposed to be in the script, not here. What am I doing? So I don't need a damage multiplier, that's for sure. Do I need a stun? I think what I do need is that I need to write it so that Noelle doesn't move while she's in the air. So she's pretty tanky, so I'm just gonna remove this thing and just set it to like half. Greater than 90 move. If direction and is parent body dot is on floor, that should be it. That's what I was thinking. Oh shit. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. What the fuck? In the reset, I need to set this to like... No. But like set this to 0. What the fuck happened to her? Also, she needs to move faster. That's way too slow. Down attack, move toward delta. I'll just set to like 400. Let's see. Holy shit. Okay, yeah, I gotta do something about that. I don't want to do a cell. But I think I'm gonna have to. Also, I thought I set the knockback X value to like 1.2. Why is it 1.3 now? That's weird. Oh, that's a down attack. Okay, 1.5. I guess I'll set this to like 1.15. But I thought the attack is already... Why is it so fast? I thought it was Normal. Ah. 24. Something is up because it literally does. Huh. That's weird. That's not supposed to happen. God damn it, it's the bug fix again. Did I do something wrong? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Why is the attack sprite starting so early? What? Huh. Is it because of the reset track? It has to be, right? Let me see. Monitoring, all that. Wait, no. What? Monitoring is false. Attack sprite is false. Like occluder shapes. Okay. That's very unbalanced. Wait, that's so unbalanced. What? That's very unbalanced. That's actually wait, I accidentally made the fight too easy because you can just spam it. Should I just remove the knockback? I think I should just remove the knockback, right? Ah, but if I remove the knockback... Huh. If I remove the knockback, then it's too hard, but if I add in the knockback, it's way too easy. Damn. I'm not too sure. Oh, you know what? What did I write? I'll think about this. I will think about this, but for now, let's just move on. I'll think about how to balance this, because if I do a knockback, that's way too easy. That's damn near cheating. Maybe that is cheating. What about... Okay, let's just go into my, one of my, stuff, and let's see, travel horizontally, shoot the recast down, check if it's close enough to the ground, have an error that checks if it's touching a solid block and destroys itself. There should be an optional timer. If it's going infinitely, velocity is constant. If there's a certain time, it should set it for 2/3 of the time remaining and slow down to 0. This season has series touching the ground. Animation travel play touching ground multiple time. It was expanding for a certain size. Okay, hold on. What if I do this, right? This is like a separate thing on its own. I'm gonna do a transform and pivot. Is there a pivot point? There is no pivot point. Oh shit. There's no pivot point. So that means I'm gonna have to draw a sprite. Either draw a sprite or do a GPU particle. I think I'm gonna mess with a GPU particle real quick. But if I do a sprite, then I'm gonna have to draw it so that it's like one square like this, but like the canvas, I should draw the sprite on the top half so that the center point is on the bottom. However, I can go the other way and make a more dynamic particle and use a GPU particle instead. So I use this. And I'm gonna assign a... you know what? To keep it like this, I'm gonna do a process material. This, no gravity. Where's the gravity? Where is the gravity? Turbulence, collision, display, acceleration, gravity. Set that to 0. Display, let's see, display. Scale. Scale over velocity. Ooh. Hmm. What is scale over velocity? Ah. What if I set this to 0? Okay, this is just... Don't worry about that. So it's not angular velocity. Can't be directional velocity either. Orbit? No. Radial? It could be radial. Is there an angle? Oh, is it here? Velocity, direction, spawn. No turbulence. Spread to 0, so it's just 1. Direction. Shit. What if I don't do this? I'm just gonna do a scale. What if I don't do... Okay, initial velocity. I wanted to shoot up. Okay, spread to 0, direction to 0, set this to 1. Or -1. Right, okay. Velocity pivot, what is that? I don't need that. Scale over velocity. I don't know what is scale over velocity though. So I'm just gonna set it to 0. I want it to be like, oh, the faster it's going, the bigger it gets, but looks like it's not working. Curve, let's see, window main, random lane. Curve over time. Uh, what's the lifetime? I can do the lifetime so that it's shorter. Time 2.3. Ooh. Shorter 0.2. 0.1. Okay, 0.1. Point one, and then the one thing that Geometry Dash did better is that it makes it so that hold on, you know, I'll think about this. Hold on, I'll think about this. Speed scale. What's interrupt to it? I've never seen that before. What the fuck is that? Ratio. Hold on. I have about 15 minutes. How do I make it so that it sticks? You know what? I think I'm just gonna look it up. How to make particles stick to GPU particle dots. Oh. Is it like this? No. Damn it. Position, velocity. It's not animated velocity, right? It literally is not this. It can't be acceleration either. Display. Animation, turbulence, speed curve, offset. That's animation. It's irrelevant. Huh. Trail? That literally can't be right. It's irrelevant. Drawing? Local chords. Oh, it is local chord. Okay, okay, okay. I got it. It's local chord. I think I should make this one shot. So it is in the drawing and make it local chords, okay. Don't know what this does, irrelevant. Don't need trail. How do I make this one shot? Okay, cool. Cool. All right. So I got this going. I'm gonna rename this shock wave line. I think I can do a transform. Right. So let me think about this. So as time goes on, or let me think. So there should be an object. Nice. So do a node 2D. Shockwave line should be its own thing, and this thing should travel. It would also add an area to, it should add a, actually yes, area 2D. And then I'll do a collision real quick. Collision, and then I should add a ray cast that shoots down. And actually, it should. How close should it be? How close should it be? Right, and then it should shoot the shockwave line at like where it was. Right. Okay. It doesn't matter too much. Okay, so the GPU shockwave line, that's its own thing. I need to like make a I need to make a scene of that. I think I should write it down. So first I need to, let me write it down. GPU particle regarding shock wave. GPU particle for the shock wave graphic should be a separate scene. In Shockwave producer script, as produce or add shockwave particle every X seconds. Okay, I almost got it. Should I make it so that it's just increased to a certain size instead of like just decreasing? I think I should just do that. Yeah, let's just do that. Or like shockwave or particle size starts from small to big. No need to decrease size for too complicated. Hitbox for Shockwave should be in, or should be a child of GPU particle. And uses what? Enemy attack area script. Alright, got it. Cool. Alright, I've already set it up for hopefully tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then Monday night. Yeah, I already have everything set up. So, cool. Hell yeah, moving on very smoothly. The only problem now is just the balancing issues with the Noel boss, with the red attack. But other than that, okay. I don't know if, okay, I'll think about it. It's actually a perfect time to pause the music. Alright, that's it for the day. I will see you, if not tomorrow. I don't know if I'm gonna talk to my friend tomorrow about some stuff. But anyway, it shouldn't take too long for that, so I may come back tomorrow. If not, then Monday night. I hope. I'm actually getting pretty fucking close. Yeah, I'm actually getting pretty close to the end of this level. I just need to like add the level complete stuff too. Alright, anyway, I'll think about that. For now, I'll just focus on the boss because the rest of the level is pretty easy. I have everything all set in stone. So, I will see you either, if not tomorrow, then the next day. Good night.